I got something to say. My name is Frank the host. And we on the podcast with a bunch of rappers in the studio. Today we kicked off Cypher Saturday, and we got a whole slew of people in here, and it's hot up in here. Is it hot in here, guys? It's hot up in here. If nothing else, we became brothers today. Real talk. Shouts out to Chuck Will. He provided the beats. He's the producer. Made the beats today. Matter of fact, everybody go around the room. Go around the room and actually say your name. Josh, you can start off real quick.
Josh, my maestro.
Kashi.
Evan the beater.
Hey, yo, this Chuck Will Beats.
Yo, this Ali D.
Yo, you know it's Small X. If done know already. Zine.
Young Parker of Anchored In. It's the boy Blue.
It's your boy Cyrus.
It's your boy Cyrus. That's what's up. So yeah, like I said, this is our first Cypher Saturday, and just sitting down, just having a conversation. Also want to give a shout out to our photographer. Come on, say what's your name?
It's Brianna.
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 That's my first baby right here. She's a grown woman now. She's not my first baby. She was my first baby, but she's a grown woman. All right. You want shout out too? You good? All right. Yeah. We got a whole lot of people in here. Aubrey's here too. Shout out to Aubrey. She's been chilling, yo. It's hot in here. She's been acting like she's cool the whole time. It must be in her blood. All right. So we're talking about hip hop real quick, guys. You know, in the DMV area, I made this comment. I'm gonna continue to make this comment. The DMV area is the next Atlanta. Do you guys agree? Yes. Do you guys think that we really have the heat? You don't think so, Cyrus?
Houston and Chicago got their own thing. I just think the DMV band had a name. It's just about how we gonna represent that moving forward. Because everybody know the DMV. It's just about what we known for. So we gotta continue to define that as time moves forward. I think that's just how I feel about that.
Most of, I feel you on that. I think that when I say that, and I respect that, because I was like, today I said something. I said, the DMV, you know, I said, yo, we're the DMV, the next Atlanta. I said, but we're the only DMV. You know what I'm saying?
Tri-state, right?
Yeah, tri-state. You know, and we.
I don't think anybody else has a tri-state.
No.
New Jersey, New York, they don't vibe. I mean, they're cool, but and it's still not. It's not the same. It's not the same camaraderie. It's like.
Yeah. True.
You know, it's not the DM. It's like three.
And then it's like, and then it being DC around the capital, it's got a whole nother dynamic for what people think about it. But that brings a whole nother exposure from what we've already done. And like I said, our history rooted here. Everything in the country came in from Virginia, DC, it started branching to Maryland. We all got deep roots from the history of the country to how we gonna sit here and survive and make that out of our arts and everything that we trying to do here. So that's the biggest thing I see. And why ain't nothing can ever be on our level. We just gotta continue to make our name before the outlook and the perception becomes
What everybody goes by. What do you feel about that, Young Parker?
I agree.
Take the mic.
I think Pharrell did a good job showcasing that with Something in the Water.
Yeah.
I feel that the DMV area overall, we have a lot of strong artists. And I don't count North Carolina, but they are technically a part of us as well. But I mean, we produced a lot of big name artists. You know, your Pharrell, N.A.R.D., Timbaland, Missy Elliott, Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Raheem Devon, Gold Link, Clips, Logic. He's from Maryland. Foggy Raw. A lot of people came out of this area, and even just local artists that I know now that have like at least 6,000 followers doing things in this area now. I don't know why or what it is about people that don't seem to keen to Virginia as far as like giving us our credit. I feel like it's long overdue. I've always felt proud of my state. I felt like we are the origin state, Jamestown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, historically wise, we are the origin state. So
Tough.
I don't know. I just think if we can get everyone to come together and really promote the same way, you know, Pharrell did, like I mentioned before, because it's the same way all around. Dance, I've been in the dance community, it's the same way. I feel like part of that issue is that, you know, with North Carolina, New York, it's a whole bunch of people in one area. But with Virginia, what I've noticed is that there's a whole bunch of artists, but we're all spread out. And, you know, everyone complains, well, I ain't got the gas to, you know, meet up here or there, you know what I'm saying? But if we could collectively get DC, you know, Nova, Richmond, Newport News area, you drums from Newport News, and just, like, really do it, just throw on something, like, the world would know. Because it's all here.
Yeah.
It just needs a spotlight.
Dude, I agree 100%. I agree. Molex, you're from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Coming from Jamaica, now you're in the DMV.
Yeah.
Spent some time in New York. Now you're here. What do you feel about the scene here? What's your thoughts?
I think this scene is like very unique, you know, but I think that still goes into like making it special, you know. It's not like New York. It's not, as you said, it's similar. Like, you know, the outlook, we're trying to get it like popping, like how Atlanta is popping now, but still it's in a different category. But I still appreciate it for what it is, you know. Like, I've been like all through the DMV, like been in Maryland, been in the DC area, Virginia now, you know, for the past like, you know, year or so. So, you know, just getting used to like the connection between like each area also, like, and seeing how collective it is. And people do have a lot of DMV pride, you know, like for real, you know. Someone could be just from Virginia or just from Maryland, but they still consider themselves like from the DMV, you know.
Yeah.
So there's still that association throughout, you know, all three areas, like states. I know DC isn't a state, but still, you know, like that's its own thing, and like, well, a district, but you know what I'm saying, the three areas combined like really show, and it can provide that diversity, you know, like people coming from different backgrounds, and like just the socioeconomic situation, like, you know, with Maryland, like, you know, having like the highest income per capita, you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. Even just the DC area being like super like political, but still like have like so much things going on around it. And to be honest, and politics is not necessarily like the most fair, you know, type of field to be in, or, you know, but that just that energy and like the things that radiate around politics influence the whole area also, you know. We have like Amazon coming, you know what I mean? We have so much things going on, like this area is big business, you know, a lot of money flying through this area. So like I think there's a lot of potential, you know, there's talent here, you know. I think everything that's going on right now, you know, people just have to keep believing in themselves. And like I think we like talked about this also, like with the internet, you know, things not as spaced out anymore, you know. People can connect like anywhere, like, you know, we can like a Virginia movement can influence places in Europe, places in Asia, Africa, you know. We just have to like represent on a certain level, you know, to like inspire people around the world through what we provide artistically, you know. We have to show them, like, we have to like give them that imagination of what this place is like, you know, and then it becomes a greater narrative and a greater idea of the place itself, you know, internationally or like wherever, like whoever, as I said, like internet, it could be anybody. It could be a dude from Australia and he's like, yo, like whatever is going on there, I want to be a part of that, or like I want to visit that place. I want to, that's how like people want to go to Cali. Everybody like, yo, Compton, like, you know, when NWA put on for Compton, everybody around the world is like, yo, Compton, you know, like it don't matter where you're from, like could be Japan, you're like, yo, Compton, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So New York, Harlem, like, you know, it's just up to the artist to like to really present things on a certain level that inspire people and like, you know, create that imagination in people's mind, you know. And then from there on, we can, and Atlanta did it, you know. People wasn't messing with Atlanta for a long time.
No.
People used to look down on Atlanta, like people from New York, people from like the, you know, northern states or even California to a certain extent, even though they kind of like, you know, embrace like the Master P's and like, you know, stuff like that, like down in like New Orleans and stuff. But Atlanta, to be where they at right now, it just show what's possible, you know what I mean? So like we just have to keep doing our work. Everybody is responsible for like, you know, playing their part in like the overall movement. So, you know, I feel like it can be done, and it just comes down to the artists and the people around them, and not just the artists, the managers, the whole team of the whole machine behind the artist, you know, has to like play a part in all of that. So I think it can be done, and I believe it will be done, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of talent and a lot of drive. People want to make it. People want to represent for this area. People want to, like, you know, be that person that inspire people and provide that type of energy and feeling to like people across the world. I know that's what I want to do, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room want to do the very same thing. So, you know, we just have to keep going straight.
Yeah, that's the deal. Keep going. Kashi, what's your take on everything, man?
Well, my take is, if you really think about it, like the DMV, we do have a lot of known people, right? But at the same time, I feel like our support system isn't there. So if you really think about it, like a lot of people in the DMV aren't worried about, you know, if I go up, I'm gonna bring someone up with me. We're worried about, oh yeah, you know, if I go up, I'm gonna show everybody, you know, everybody that was there, they end up forgetting, right? So everybody that was there in the process, like I know one person that eventually made it from our high school, right? And I guess he just forgot about everybody, right? So our support system for other people, like instead of trying to spread everybody's creation, we're only worried about ourselves now, and that's when we get put in the box. That's when we start making excuses like, you know, the drive, right? And not being able to work. It's not that we can't work, because really, like, I work with people down in Georgia. Like, I record my stuff. I have my own studio, so I record my stuff. I send them the track with an open verse. Bam. Business right there. Like, now I'm known in Georgia and here. Like, fan base, you know, spreading it worldwide. But now, like, you get over here, now we're very, like, stagnant. We feel like we get to a place that we're higher than everybody else. So now we're complacent. Now we don't want to do anything else to help branch out and actually show what DMV has.
Yeah.
So
I think that I'm gonna go to Josh after this. Josh, you go. I'm gonna get Josh in a second on here, but I think this is what I think. I think that we all have to do our part in moving together. I feel like I feel like I'm a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no time for beef and all that stuff like that. I just gotta say, hey, it is what it is. If you look at some of these, this is why I have the studio, to bring all these artists. Like, did half of you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Ronnie, because that's a big factor why everybody didn't know each other.
Most definitely.
I believe that most
Definitely.
of us even met each other as Ronnie, even amongst each other. And at the end of the day, shout out that. But hubs like that, where people is hungry for time, that's what we want to do. But we need times, we need to capitalize on those times, so it's just like, okay, our paths cross. You know, because it only took a couple people to get this run started. Like, you telling me your story, I'm just like, okay, if none of that would have never happened, would any of this happen with all of these artists that's coming through here? Now it's known as a hub. Oh, Manassas is popping. Now it's actually got a name because people have decided to stay home. And going back to what I was saying before, I think it's a thing of people so hungry, you're trying to go on your rise, you're trying to rise on your grind, but you forget to slow down and stop and settle down and really think about where you at. And it's just like, what makes the DMV great? What's the biggest thing that makes the DMV great? Like we said, the politics, like we said, all this stuff, like we said, the culture behind it, from the history of the state and all that. But it's also the diversity. Our culture, everything, it's just being genuine and real. So it starts off with that, but if people are so hungry, they forget what they themselves, they chasing success because we don't even know what defines success is. And that's a problem across America and throughout the world. So it's like we really need to define success for ourselves, define who we are as individuals and artists, because we all rap, and we all great at it. Every last one of us is good at it. But at the same time, we each got our own different, you know what I'm saying, lanes. And it's just like we got to understand how to ride that lane so we can build a road together, as opposed to sitting here trying to, oh, well, follow me. Well, I'm doing it right. If not, then I'm going to leave you behind. And that's the kind of attitude we got. Everybody want to take their road. And it's just like, instead of build the road together. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. But a lot of that is diversity. And like I said, we are going to just, the nature of us being in the DMV, we're gonna face that naturally because it's hard for people in the world outside of music, outside of art. It's hard for people in the world to come together for that thing. So of course you're gonna see it as artists. And like I said, but as an artist is a thing that if you decide you want to be an artist and that's the career you want to choose, then it's a place where you don't really have much. So it makes you in that place where you have to be starving. Because a lot of artists see the world differently. So they in their minds real strong. But at the same time, if you can't bring that back out to connect with people, then what is your artistic views on anything worth? It's worth almost nothing because you're devaluing yourself. And that's the kind of thing. We got to place the importance on each other, the respect for each other in our own lane, but also define ourselves so that when somebody comes and may not understand us, we know how to define ourselves to them. Look, I could bring this to the game. I could bring that. The people I'm riding with can bring this, this, and that. And that's what makes my team so good. That's what makes everybody I'm with so good. Something like a Giovanni's. That's why a Giovanni's and Manassas, a Frank the Host, is so easy to define, and it's getting easier to define as it's growing. Because now it's growing together. It's getting its own definition. It's defining itself within each individual artist that has their own definition. So we just got to stick to ourselves. That's an important thing. And understand what success is. Have those conversations more with each other. Really get to understand each other and what our goals are in life. Because everybody's bound for another thing. Everybody's bound for separate paths. We got to understand, okay, well, in this time that we share together, how can we move forward with that? And that's the biggest thing. It's a life lesson, but we need to understand that it translates into, especially being artists, because that's all we're doing, just representing what we see the world.
Expressing ourselves. Like that, Josh.
I don't know. I think like for me, I never lived in other places to like really pay attention to like how hip hop was or like how it was trying to do something with your music in other states or places. But I think everyone really touched on like things I've picked up on over the years, and I think one is a big what he was saying is like people around here don't care to, you know what I mean, help out the people behind them or with them, you know what I mean. They blow up, they take off, and they're gone, and they made it, you know what I mean. I think another reason is too is it's like, I mean, look at Atlanta and New York and LA and stuff like that. It was like when one person blew up, it'd be like 5, 6 other people all right after, and that's what made more people blow up. But when you look at the people that have blown up in Virginia, it's like years apart and all over the place, so it don't really cause anyone to zero in on like, all right, let's look at Maryland right now, or like, let's look at, you know what I mean? Because I went through a time in like 2015 where I was just, that's all I listened to was DMV music, and I was like in shock at how many artists there was that was coming out with like dope music, like every week dropping tapes all over Maryland, all over DC, and I was listening to everybody's stuff like, man, there's a rack of talent out here, you know what I mean? And I think another thing I've noticed is it's like, because we've seen, you know, Justin Bieber's and we've seen, you know, Lil Pumps or Post Malone's blow up off like one song on SoundCloud. It's like everybody holding their breath on that song, just like popping. And like I look back in like the 90s when they ain't had that, like they put in the footwork, you know what I mean? Like they was out on the streets like handing out flyers, they was out there handing out their CDs, and they had to get creative with it. And like, you know what I mean? Like one rapper I like, he went and like bootlegged some movie or some album that everybody wanted and put it on the back of his tape. So when he was out there like, hey, get my tape, but also look, I got this thing that everybody wants that they can't get, you know what I mean? So it made everybody buy what he was selling, you know what I mean? Like, and but as far as like just what I see, I think it's just I definitely see that DMV's like next up. I do really see that. I don't know what exactly is drawn, you know what I mean, other than they're like bigger cities, obviously. I think it's just, but we got a lot of money out here. We got a lot of talent out here.
A lot of money. Yo,
we got 3 of the top richest counties
right here.
in like 10
right here
in the country. So it's like it's absurd. It's like McLean, Fairfax County, Loudoun County. But yeah, that's what I think.
Main man down here.
I think demographically speaking, there's a lot of diversity out here, and like what y'all been saying about people being spread out throughout the entire states, it does make it hard, you know, to kind of network, find out where people are, especially when there's, you know, a certain group of people in one state that do something different than somebody else, you know what I'm saying, or come over and don't agree with what everybody else is doing or what's popping. You know what I mean? And it's like you kind of just got to get on the same page with everybody else. And I'm not saying there's anybody like that's not on the same wavelength, but just making sure that the success train does move through, and pays everybody off. It's real easy to fly off the game. It's real easy to bump people off. You know what I'm saying? But it's about just holding on to your ground, bro. Like staying true to where you are and who you are, what you're saying, because you can't really say anything if you don't tell your story. You're not saying anything to anybody. No one's gonna people buy the little pumps of, like you were saying, people that just spit nonsense, but there's people out here that actually have stories, man, that have shit to say to everybody else, just like any other state does. It's like Atlanta's been popular and everything. They have their scene, and I don't know if everybody is like on the same, like go-go is such a big thing in DC, but like I don't see anybody incorporating go-go other than what Wale did for the game and actually showed people that, hey, we have our sound. Like that's like a general sound that everybody can fluctuate off of. Me personally, I have listened to a lot of go-go, except when I was younger. My dad would play shit. He stayed in Southeast for like a year or two, so I was out there. I knew a little bit of it, but like I think that like the jazz scene, kind of incorporating all the influences that we do have, and just putting it all together to make something beautiful. And like y'all said, paint the picture. Like Maul said, just paint the picture for people to understand. Like this is what we're doing out here. We're not doing it any different than y'all, but come check us out. Like,
most definitely.
Just stay true to yourself, man.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah,
I know one thing I always I like listening to other rappers. Like seeing like things they say. Like one thing I've seen repeatedly said is if you're not investing money in yourself, like I heard one rapper say, if you don't put $1 million in yourself, you ain't gonna invest in it. That's what I mean. That's crazy to me. But and then I also heard that this was actually just a random interview I seen with Pitbull in it, but he said the rap game is 40% skill and 60% business. And that's where like I don't care about it as much, you know what I mean? Because I ain't a businessman in that sense. I just rap because I like it. But that's what I tell everybody. It's more business than skill, and that's crazy.
And that's what it is. Man. The whole industry is a game, man. For real, it's not. It's for young people to pop and fizzle out because they don't know what they're doing with their money.
There's a reason. There's a reason why it's business though. Because think of it, right? So you have these companies like. Let's say Rock Nation, for example, right? Jay-Z got turned down by almost, I think, 12 A&Rs? All A&Rs. He got turned down, made his own, right? So he made his own label, signed himself. So think of it, right? If you're not willing to put in money for yourself, what makes you think that other A&Rs are going to be like, oh, well, you know what? Let me take a chance, right? If you can't even put the money in to invest in yourself, like, I'm going off personal experience here. Like me, I know I dropped some bread for my equipment, right? I'm not gonna say how much. I'm not gonna post that out there. Just know I dropped some bread on my equipment, and that was money I was saving up for probably 4 or 5 years. So to just throw all that, well, I'm not even gonna say throw all of it away because I plan on doubling it, tripling it, maybe quadruple it. But exactly, I'm gonna see it back. I know that that's no facts. I'm seeing that back by at least the end of 2019. Seeing more, right? But the thing is, if we can't come out here and take a chance on ourselves, we can't expect other people
to take a chance
for us.
That's good. That's right. I'm listening. I'm going, man. You
no.
good.
That's what I wanted to say. It's facts. Yeah, exactly.
I got so a guy told me, I posted something a couple weeks ago, and I got a lot of flack, good and slack. I got slack on it from both ways. Some people said I was being too harsh. And some people said, they deal, they like it, what you said was good. And I just said, I'm not doing this stuff for free anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't have y'all, I'm investing my time. This is time right here. This is my time, my effort, my resources, my stuff that I need. You know what I'm saying? I got to pull people in. that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Some people say I was a little bit too harsh, but here's the thing: when you invest in your time, you invest, and you know, I need you to understand. I need you to invest in this because I don't want you to take this for lightly to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you invest in something, when you put money down, like if you go to a restaurant, I pay for a steak. Matter of fact, I pay for a prime rib. All right. I want the prime rib. I paid $50, and they come out with a cheesesteak, and I paid $50 for that cheese. What are y'all gonna do? You need to go back in the back and find my order, right? I'm gonna be upset because I put money down. I'm expecting to get something out of what I put my money down for, my efforts and stuff like that. And I think that we gotta get out the area of saying, hey, I want to get this for free, you know, and really say, you know, that's how I know you're serious. If you really put money down in your crap on yourself, I know you're serious. If someone's trying to, you know, get stuff out of for free, now I understand sometimes you do stuff for each other, that's cool and all, but at some point in time, everybody needs to put in to let everybody know that you're serious. Y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to talk to Chuck. Let's talk to Chuck, because Chuck's here.
What's up?
Chuck's here. Chuck provided the beats for us today, and we had an awesome cypher. If you guys didn't know it, everybody in here spit. Is how many? Is 8 in here? 8 of us in here. 7 rap though. 7 of you guys rap. You came in a little bit later. If you want to spit, we put another beat on. You good?
I mean, I'll give it a go.
You give it a go.
I'm gonna spit with him, so that way he get the opportunity. I want to hear.
So yeah, that's what's up. All right, so Chuck, you know, when it comes down to beats, and everybody, this is an open question for everybody. Now, I know, like, when I love instrumentals, I love beats. I'm a beat guy. Like, I like beats. But I like to hear good rap too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I love to hear good rap, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that one. I love to hear people spit and stuff like that, and so for a beat, like what is it? You know, what does it take to produce a dope beat for you?
Well, it takes definitely a lot of time. The first thing that I would probably say that goes into it is you gotta get the melody plus the drums. It's not just the melody and it's not just the drums, because fundamentally what we want to hear is people, especially if we've been studying, and I say studying as listening to everyday rap music or what, you know, the media is pushing out there, then your ears are attuned to certain bass patterns. They're attuned to certain, you know, bass melodies, and if you can't get those in your records, then I'm just gonna be honest, people aren't gonna listen to them because there's not gonna be that thing that's pushing that record forward. It's just gonna feel like it's stale, it's boring, it's not moving. There's no jump or bounce to it. So really, it comes down to just getting that 808 melody first, and then going back and finding dope sounds that go around it. Because if honestly, you're gonna go through, if you have, let's say you have 500 sounds, one of them's gonna sound good with some kind of melody for the 808s. So if you can get that down, you can just start building around it. To be honest with you, and that takes the most time. That can take up to 10 to 12 hours. To be honest with you, yeah. And then, but after that, it's cake. You know where it's already going because you can hear it. Pushes the, like I'm saying, it pushes the record out. So the record actually just comes alive by itself.
Is the beat game making beats and stuff like that? Does anybody else make beats in here? Okay, make beats. Okay. All right. So is the beat game? How is that? What does that look like? Is it hard to get into? Is it like? What does that look like? I think everyone has their sound too.
Yeah, I think it looks crazy. I tried messing with I think it was Reason, and man, I don't. That stuff is like, I think the Reason is one of the more complicated ones that I've heard, but it was. I played with it for a few weeks, and like I think I just figured out how to like add a track. You know what I mean? But I was like, yo, I'm done. I'll go pay the money for the studio.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
But I mean, like for me, like. You know, just adding to what you were saying just a while ago, it's like that's definitely a part of it. You know, it's really just a process of like just finding what works. You know, like for me, like the groove is like the main thing. Like once once it like clicking, like once everything is like working together, you know, that's what I look for. You know, I'm trying to get something that's like groovy but still like special. You know, I'm trying to find like, it's like a specific pocket you're just trying to be in where like it just feel right. You know, and that's the thing as musicians. You know, it's like it can have emotional ties to it. You know, because like good music, that's what good music does. You know, good music make you feel something, and that's what you want at the end of the day. You know, you wanna have like an experience. You want it to like you know bring something to the moment or to your life or whatever you're dealing with. So it's just finding that pocket. Like, you know, you can like start with whatever. Some people will start with the drums. Some people start with melody. Like for me, like I just kind of just start somewhere and then like you know figure it out from there. Just like find, as I said, that little spot where everything just feel right, where things just blend together seamlessly to the point where I feel you know like a connection with it, or I feel some form of like pleasure from the actual songs themselves, you know, like after that you can get the lyrics and the bars or whatever, you know, because like, you know, I write, you know, so like I'll be like writing songs, or even while I'm making the beat I'm thinking of the lyrics, or you know, so it's like, you know, everybody kind of has their own like method of how they like go about like, you know, making beats or like making songs or whatever, but it's just like the main thing is just having things blend well, you know, it's all about blending, you know, you have like the drums, but once that melody and that drum just start working, it's like a dance, you know, it's like, it's poetry in motion type thing, you know what I'm saying, so that's all it is, you know, you just try to find that spot, and like, and you know when you know, you can be working on it, and you're like, yo, I've been working on this for so long, but when it's done, you kind of know it internally, it's good now, you know.
So when you make beats, go ahead, Parker, you want to say something? When you make beats, do you have people in mind?
No. I just want to find, like what he was saying, that unity in the sounds. And I mean, there's definitely something to say that different 808s and stuff sound different with different melodies. And so that does have a huge role. I think it kind of starts panning out around when you find that unity in the record with your melodies and your drums, that you can start picking out, you know, which direction it's gonna go, like who it could be for, names, you know what I mean, all that stuff. It's all about the vibe that it gives off, and you know, if you can't find the vibe, then honestly, I mean, you really the production side of it is really just being honest with yourself, because if it sounds bad, just delete it and start over. You know what I mean? And that's really the hardest thing to do, because you're like, man, I just spent 12 hours, 15 hours on this, but it sounds like crap. So what? Delete it and move on to the next one, because the next one's going to be 10 times better.
That's good, though. That's good.
To piggyback, I was just going to say, to piggyback off of what you just said, that actually speaks volumes for, like, when it comes to beat making, writing songs. I'm pretty sure everybody in here can agree. Like, you know, for all of that, you know, I like, the thing I always say is, like, the number one person that you don't want to lie to is yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay true to yourself. So even when it comes to writing, like, if I'm on a song with one of y'all and I'm trying to, like, you know, sound like one of y'all, it's not going, it don't sit well with me, because it's like, that's not my sound. That's not how I write. That's not how I rap, you know. I'm pretty sure the same thing goes for you when it comes to making a beat, you know. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, so we got to end this off for a second, but I want to just, first of all, tell you guys thank you. Then ask one question before we all get out of here. First of all, I want to invite you guys all back to individual podcast show, just spotlighting all of you all. Come in here and dropping some music, listen to your music. I haven't really heard your music yet. I heard you in here, but I really haven't heard your music yet. But definitely, I want to. I mean, I feel you though. I feel you though. And I want to be sure that we connect some way. You know, I don't want this to be the last time. That's one. Two. All right. This is a good question to end off the show. What is your style?
Style. So today I was just messing around. Like I can't really do anything about today. Today was the little Cypher. I didn't know how to come in. Yeah. So, but my style, honestly, I don't ever talk about stuff I'm not living. So, you know I speak of certain struggles that I've encountered in most of my songs. So like, you know, when I was younger, having from my parents' divorce to my mom always being at work because she's in the military. So, you know, her being deployed most of the time, to me having to stay with other people, you know, me having to stay on a mattress because, you know, my mom was just starting, so the house that we were living in, we could barely afford it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, just talking about past experience and then talking about what I see for my future. That's my style, like just speaking whatever I want into existence and then being able to not only pull in a community, but have that community behind me when I go up. So.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely. Get everyone quick. That way go all the way around.
Style-wise, I mean, I like to approach the music as a, like, kind of like an art more so than I mean, is it like if you look at like paintings or something like that, where like the words, the way you do your words, you got different styles of words. Like they got the hashtag rap. You know, you say a word, this, you know, or you could have like a not like you like Lil Wayne, you know, like did. Then you got like the other style is like Nas, like storytelling. Yeah, and then you got like this new age rap, which is like it's beautiful, but it's a new wave. It's a new like, I mean, we're in the Renaissance right now of our era. Like, this is like the Enlightenment period of our time. So it's a lot of new ways of thinking now. And like, I think with like the Lil Pump and the Lil Uzi and stuff like that, it's so saturated with these different styles and colors and like the way that they move the words and like the meaning behind the words too has changed too. So like one word might not mean that word no more. So like, and if you're speaking into existence and the power behind the words and everything, now we're conscious of that too. It's like you got to be on point. If you really want to speak into existence, then you want to do the manifest, because you got to watch what you say. If you say something like crazy, then
real talk.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Like, I mean, don't be surprised when that actually happens. You know, because you repeated it a million times and like over and over and over and over again, and then you listen to it over and over and over again. Like, it's like, so what I've been practicing right now is like trying to speak. I choose my words very carefully and like positive only. Like, even if I'm having a bad day, like I don't get mad and I don't write a bad song, because I'm not gonna be living that bad day for the rest of my life. Like, so
That's facts. That's good
talk, bro.
You know, so like how I'm doing it now is just like, yeah, speaking of existence, and then like that's a big thing. So I like that. The style wise though is singing. However, like the vocals move very. For me, my vocals move all the way. Like I can do pretty much anything. So whatever it takes. Like, and if I'm like teamed with another person, like another artist, you know, I vibe off of that. Like whatever, I try and play to their strengths. I try and be the best partner I can. Like whatever it takes in that situation. That's where my. However, I gotta swing my sword. I'm swinging that. So I mean, that's violent though. So I'm not even trying. All I gotta do, like, you know, I mean, I'm not even trying to like. It's not like that either. Like, you can think of it many different ways, sports wise. However, however I. You can just, yeah. However, exactly, right. You know, fighting a good fight. You know, going for the goal. You know, whatever it takes.
What's up, Josh?
I think like style wise, I don't even know if I fit myself in any category. If I had to like put myself in any type of like, you know, like subgenre, it would probably be like underground. I also think I'm very versatile and like I've tested myself in all types of different sounds to just to do it, you know what I mean? And I think, but my style is definitely like staying real to myself. It's definitely writing about real, you know, emotions or real feelings and real questions I ask out to God or whatever, and trying to understand things and express things. You know, like he was saying, you know, like a couple years ago, I was rapping with someone, and he was trying to, you know, make what worked and what people were. And you know, I always tell everyone, I said, man, don't ride the wave because the wave's gonna change and you're gonna be late. You know what I mean? Like it's getting ready to change. Like right now, we've been on the same wave in the music for a while, and it's somebody getting ready to like blow off the lid on a whole nother sound. Everybody's chasing what everyone else is doing, trying to like make that same sound blow up in their life, and it's about to change again. And you know, like 2013, we had Chicago, we had the drill move, and now now it's something different. And but anyway, so that's what I was doing, I wasn't doing it. My boy was trying to do that, and I was kind of like trying to stay true to myself while giving a little bit of that, and I was doing it, but like, and, you know, I would tell myself like, well, man, like I know these people, and they rapping about robbing people and doing all this crazy stuff, and I know them, and they don't even do it. And I said, I've done all that stuff, but I don't like talking about it because that's not what I care about. That's not me. You know what I mean? It's dumb stuff I've done and nothing cool about it. Like. But I did it just to like, cause I was like kind of, you know what I mean, and that's the one thing I learned in my like walk in this music, like I'll never compromise like what genuine like comes out of my heart just to like fit into a sound ever again. So that's my style, whatever comes and whatever flows,
Yeah, nah, I mean I could definitely stick with that, and when it comes to style. I think about it a lot, but I wouldn't really categorize myself in any kind of style. But if I had to personally define my style, it's really just about just being true to my personality first and foremost, in the sense of I know one of my greatest gifts in life that just people recognize, and I've been understanding for myself, and just bringing people together, bringing unity out, and understanding how to connect out of people. So I understanding that, I try to translate that into my music. Like you said, whether it is, because I want to adapt. I don't want to stay tuned, whether it's hitting the punchline and the quick choppy bars, or actually going on full-fledged stories within my raps. Then it's like I said, I want to do that, and I want to get into beats and everything. I want to start translating that in any way I can. So, like you said, I'll try to speak positive, but we all live through a lot of negativity and positivity in life. So one thing I believe is just to never just deny and reject that, and speaking on that, and speaking about that. So I speak about some of the hardest things that I see, or even maybe I've heard, and maybe I indirectly experienced it from somebody else, or somebody in my family, or anything like that. But the one thing I always try to end off, and I was telling somebody recently, is just end it in triumph, end it in win, in victory. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about the most horrific struggles and most horrific things, and at the end of the day, I understand that somebody listening to those things out of the music will, if they only listening for the negative, then you'll always get the negative out of anything, even a positive message, because then there's a lot of politics in the game. So what's positive to one person may not be to another person, and it's all about perspective, and we can never reach that. So I understand that for me, it's just about, from my perspective, understand where I'm coming from, I'm gonna turn it around, and how I got out of it, how I'm doing today, how I'm doing that. That's why I always end my verse. I make sure the chorus is always punching on something. Okay, this is where I'm at now. I leave it now because that's the last thing you heard then. And it's just like, that's my kind of style. I like to sit here, really paint that picture in any kind of way possible. And like I said, if it's a story, I can really get in depth and take my time through it. But then if it's the punchlines, then it's like I gotta really hit on the topics, each major bullet point, kind of looking at it in that way, and just the way I format it. And for me, I would say my style is more just picture painting, for instance, and all kinds of things.
What's that? Cool.
Mine's probably gonna be kind of short. I don't know. Just like any other artist, I've come from a place of pain for the most part. I started writing a lot of poetry when I was younger, and I got really good at it. So I kind of come from there first. If I can write a poem, kind of fit the words, and then change my style as the beat goes on, and kind of just make the words fit. And that's usually where I come from first. Unless it's like some hype beat or something like that, I can just talk about the birds and the bees and how the river flows and all that. But I talk about what I know, and I try to make sure that I'm my own weapon on every beat, no matter who's on it, no matter what I'm doing. I'm just like, I want to sound different than you in everything that I do, and that's really all that I can do. So I usually just sit back, observe, and kind of just see how I play my part, and then I it in where it fit in. You know what I mean?
Cool.
As far as style, I don't really consider myself having a style per se, because I was an artist first, you know, art degree and things like that. So I look at things differently when it comes to music, and even again coming from the dance background, like the only way you learn something is somebody teach it to you. So I always grew up listening to a lot of music. My dad did music, and I grew up in a lot of different places, like from 3rd grade to 8th grade. Every year I was in some new location, some new culture, some new area. So I kind of bring all of that with me, so I can't really say I belong in one set place. I do believe in honest music. I believe in truth music. So it's like I'm never going to rap about something or talk about something that I never experienced, or not be true to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be afraid to talk about anime if I watch anime. I like anime, so I'm going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just believe in being true to yourself. As a Christian, I believe in, you know, because there's a stigmatism to, like, rappers that are Christians that, just rappers that are Christian in general. You know what I'm saying? That they're corny or they're whack or something like that. So, I take my stuff a little bit serious when it comes to that take, because I don't want to be considered like that. Like, I want you to blatantly know, yes, I am Christian, but, like, you're not going to just hear my music and, like, write me off like, oh, man, he just talked about guys, so this whole album about to be trash. Like, nah, like, I'm going to catch you real quick. You know what I'm saying? I got some bars for you. So, that's kind of my main goal, and kind of chime off what you guys saying earlier, like, about your words and things. Like, you know, this whole thing started off when God spoke, so I really pay attention to words. I respect people's game and what they do, like in music, you know what I'm saying, whether they want to talk about drug rap or funny rap. I respect it to the fact that, like, that's who they are, and I hope that they're being true to themselves if they are. But for me, I can't do that, because, you know, when you become an artist, when you become above, you know what I'm saying, like when you're not just rapping for fun or anything, like people have a spotlight on you and they're looking up to you. I believe there's a certain responsibility to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my favorite artists is Kid Cudi. He got me through a lot of hard times because he was open and honest about his mental anxiety and depression. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't really, there wasn't a lyric to be made for the hum, but people understood what the hum meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just things like that. And you ask a lot of Cudi fans, like, it was the hum. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's nice too. He is a dope MC if you really catch his bars, but, like, it was the hum. So I draw inspiration from everyone. I believe in being a student of the game. I don't believe in completely biting someone, but, like, if you take it and you make it yours, then it's yours. Like, nobody can take that from you. Nothing here was made out of just one person. Like, there's no originators. I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was inspired by somebody else. Like, this table was probably like a stool at one point, and they was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna make a table out of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I believe in running your lane.
And it's actually true. It was something. Now the table.
But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, respecting your lane, respecting your brothers. Like, I don't think we gotta tear any other artists down. Like, if they're doing better or if they're doing worse, like, we don't gotta see a certain way, because that's where a lot of people get messed up in this game, I believe. It's like when they look at somebody else in their lane and seeing them getting success, and it's just like, well, that's them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably successful because they're being them. Like, they're being true to who they are. So I believe when you're true to who you are and you resonate with yourself, other people are going to find that, you know, within you. You know what I'm saying? If I tell my story, I'm sure everybody in this room can find themselves at some point in my timeline and connect with that. So, styles everywhere, influenced by a lot of people. I like J. Cole, I like Childish Gambino, I like Flying Lotus, I like Thundercat, I like rock music. Like, I can go on for days about music that I like. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might sing on a track, I might rap extremely fast on the track, I might go really slow on the track. It really just depends on the mood and what message I'm trying to get out at that time. So, yeah.
Dope.
Cool. For me, like, my style, I just try to be natural, you know. For me, like, natural is just doing what feels right, doing what that moment calls for, you know. And a part of that for me is, like, trying to input into the world what I want the world to embody, you know. Like, if I feel like something is necessary, it might not even be for me, but something I just know, like, because I try to pay attention to everything, you know, everything around me and, like, the world itself, you know. I try to, like, just analyze and really, like, figure out what's going on, like, what's really going on around you. So for me, I just try to input what I believe is necessary, you know, and I try to like, you know, find that spot, you know, where I feel like would create the best connection, you know, to whoever is listening. You know, it don't matter who's listening. Like, I want to provide something that people will appreciate, that people will take from and improve themselves with, you know, like, and even not, you know, like, if it isn't anything like too deep for them, once it sounds good too, you know, that's another aspect. I want to just make good music, you know. I want everybody want a message, you know, or want to like influence people in some way somehow. But even if they don't focus on the lyrics, because that's how I am. Sometimes I'm not too focused on the lyrics. Sometimes I'm just right. I'm like the beat is. I'm not, because as me as a producer, sometimes I'm like, yeah, right now I only care about the beat. But I understand that the lyrics are important too. So, you know, it's kind of, as I said, like, as a producer itself, I try to like make sure everything comes together nicely, you know. So like the lyrics, the beat, and everything. So for me, like, good music, you know, not to like call the record label, but you know, just music that's good in general. You know, that's what I want to make. That's what I want to provide. You know, so, and even above that, you know, just good energy. You know, good art. You know, so even the visuals. You know, because music, everybody grew up loving like all the videos, you know, the covers, like everything that goes along with it. It's an experience. So that's what I want to provide, like a great experience for whoever comes across my work. You know, and that's it. You know.
Good job.
My style is okay. So it's gonna be kind of crazy, but I'm a big movie head. I love movies, and so my style. I don't know if anybody's ever remember this movie called Brown Sugar. It's a hip hop movie. So that's one of my favorite movies, by the way. But in that movie, one of the biggest things that they keep bringing up is what was the first song that you heard when you fell in love with hip hop, right? So that's what I try to aim for with like all of my music and everything I write. I try to like just give you that feeling like what was the first song you ever heard when you listen to hip hop. My song personally is A Children's Story by Slick Rick. That's my song. I'm sorry, I'm a little old school with it. But yeah, that I literally fell in love with hip hop over that song. But yeah, that's my favorite song. That's kind of the vibe I try to go with my style, and then also too just to have fun with it, just to put a smile on anybody's faces. Because you know, one of the things I hate the news because every time you turn on the news, there's always something going on in the world, and we all know that. I got songs about pain. I got songs that, you know, that make you sad or whatever. But the majority of my music is like, okay, when you turn it on, I want you to put a big smile on your face. I want you to dance. I want you to laugh. I want you to have a good time. You know, I want everybody just to have fun with it. So that's pretty much my style. Yeah. So
Cool. Chuck?
Me? 808 Funky Fresh. That's what we do. Like, that's really my style, plain and simple.
That's what's up. Hey, I just want to tell you guys again, thank you guys for coming to kicking off our first Saturday Cypher. It's a big deal to me. You know, it was my dream to do this. I have a few other things I'm going to do with rappers as well. And this is a big thing for me. I said I was going to do this. And now that I'm here, we've done it, and I get to share this experience with all of you all. I know, you know, if I stick with this is going to be a big deal in the DMV area.
Yeah,
See
shout out
what?
to Frank.
Appreciate it. So, man, I appreciate you all. Thank you guys again. And my show's called I Got Something to Say, so I need everybody to say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I got something to say. You already know. All right, I'm out. Peace. What's the space bar?